4 cars on track. The 9 still running here in Spa on this Saturday afternoon. The 2 Red Bulls, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez now coming out.
Enters then for Mercedes and Red Bull. They think they can clear that water. This is right on the edge of Enters. It's a suck it and see really for the drivers, but that looks extremely marginal for intermediate tyres. If they can keep the tyres connected with the racetrack in all the right and critical moments, they will get more grip from more rubber. But
Pierre Gasly's on intermediates. Sebastian Vettel also on intermediates. Daniel Ricciardo still in the pits at the moment. I'm waiting to see him come out onto the track. There's that.
I wonder if there are parking spots nearby. Is that you right there? Why the hell can't you park right here? It doesn't matter. Literally, there's parking right here.
Alpine no, with Esteban Ocon. If the rest are on intermediates, then they probably need to put those inters on.
I suppose I see why they think that applies, I guess.
Yeah. So let me go super quickly through the rest of the filings. I know we're running late, but that was worth a discussion on Rockport. Definitely. Emily Newman filed a brief. Her new lawyer filed a brief. You probably will not see a motion to strike this because the brief is
safe
bad
vehicle.
But these were reply briefs.
Healthy communities make people mentally healthy. Communities give you support economically, financially, emotionally. And that's what you found.
I think what Alvin pointed out is technically incorrect because Alvin.
Oh, yes. Nope.
Oh. Oh. No.
I'm in the wrong lane.
Oh no! Someone.
Yep.
Go for it. Just go.
You fucked it up for everybody.
At a climate control station in a panic, keeping track of minute changes in the atmospheric conditions of a nearby room in his house, is proud new father Eli Bosnick. Eli, how's it going?
Damn it, Heath, this is a get ahead. My son could be in college by now. Think.
Okay. You're not going to monitor the atmospheric conditions of your child at college age?
You know what?
Really?
Withdrawn. Very smart.
Yeah, thank you. And we're also joined by veteran guest masochist and Eli's foil in the universe, which makes me very happy personally. Moishi Globalist is here. Moishi, thanks for joining us.
One world, one people, Heath. Thank you for having me.
I also want to add that Moishi is wearing a full suit right now.
Yeah.
I learned that earlier.
Dressed
He's wearing
up for our record,
a suit
everyone.
and tie.
Yeah. Get on my fucking level.
Okay. And no pants. And no pants. Eli's wearing pants. So
That's why you shouldn't park in the road.
All right, Moishi, let's get right into it.
People start going around and they're in opposite lane of traffic. Look, they could have pulled over right there.
Episode 1. It's a simple story about a man who, after bludgeoning a man to death with the...
Turn your lights on, asshole.
And so the court untangles the motion to seal and then sets a hearing and says, hey, what we're going to do is
What are you doing?
hold a hearing that will begin on
What are you
June
doing?
the 9th at 8:30 a.m. And that
Turn your lights on over there. Flashing red means you stop.
When he discovered that despite being aristocracy, he was also broke.
What the hell, guys? Your thing already kills people. You couldn't wait.
Good job.
You're actively murdering him right now.
Supposed to ride in the street. Wrong way.
What we're talking about today is a civil complaint, and I'm going to break down exactly what it means. It does not have a criminal component to it yet, because Gordon Sondland is just a dude who wants his money right now. He's not a prosecutor, right? But if what you're asking is using the victim testimony from prior cases, we kind of talked about that as an aspect of Pennsylvania law. Natalie points out correctly that Rule 413 of the Federal Rules of Evidence would have decisively answered this question. So, in other words, because we had been prosecuted in federal court instead of state court, there is no question that the prior victim testimony would have come in. I'm going to read that rule in a minute, but I wanted to kind of sidebar. In fact, we'll not read it now, right? So, in 1994, the Federal Rules of Evidence were amended to say 413A, permitting uses. It says this: in any criminal case in which a defendant is accused of a sexual assault, the court may admit evidence that the defendant committed any other sexual assault. Evidence
You're
may
an
be
idiot.
considered on any matter to which it is relevant.
Fuck
Okay?
you.
So that whole balancing unduly prejudicial stuff that we talked about, 403, 404, would not have been an issue if this were in federal court, right? The testimony of the prior victims would have been admitted. Period. Take that argument off the table. Now you might ask, how do you get into federal court for sex
Knew that
offenses?
was coming.
And the answer is exclude testimony that is unduly prejudicial, even if it is somewhat probative, right? So, for example, there have been motions in limine in
Dude.
He is barely my assholes.
Dude. What the fuck? What the actual fuck?
A huge thanks to all of you who have already donated. And if you're able to
Whoa!
now is the time to do it. Please.
Ooh.
And finally, we got a few messages
Nice,
about the
turn
comments that
signal.
I made last week about being culturally Jewish and the skit that we did afterwards. Like I said, several people wrote in, but I thought our friend Iran from Australia summed up the objections pretty well. Quote, and he said a lot of other complimentary stuff at the beginning at the end. But I'm just giving you the meat here. Quote, being Jewish is not just a religion, and presenting it that way is unnecessary and problematic. I've never been religious. My grandparents, all four of them, left religion in the 1920s,
fuck
and we haven't had religion
you.
in our family since. We have been atheists for literally a century and now 5 generations. Yet we are all Jewish, because being Jewish, while fundamentally arising out of religion, I'm not denying that, is also a culture, an ethnicity, a tradition, a group belonging, a shared history, an identity, and in many cases, all...
Hey, what does that sign right there say? It says no parking anytime.
Where can I park?
Anywhere else. This is a major road.
Millennia of inbreeding to thank for that. So I'm not an ex-Jew who's now an atheist. I'm an atheist who is also Jewish. And judging by my research, I'm not alone. I'm part of a major chunk of those identifying as Jewish. Others may choose not to identify as Jewish if they are not religious, and I have exactly zero problems with that. But the message that unless you do Jewy things, you're not Jewish is unwarranted.
Not here either.
End quote. So I guess the clear
not here either.
Of Iran's message is that I don't get a say in how people identify themselves, and that's fair. Right, so like in my own defense, I actually had it drilled into my head pretty hard that talking about Jewishness as an ethnicity was anti-Semitic, since there are Jews from all different ethnicities. Ultimately, that being said, it turns out there's a huge century-long discussion between people who identify as ex-Jews and people who identify as atheist Jews on this subject, and one thing that discussion definitely does not need is me goy-splaining how weird it all seems to me.
Okay, that is a lovely and thoughtful way to put, I know you're wrong, but I'm not Jewish, so I'm going to let Eli do it.
That's not what I was saying. Say whatever you'd like to say.
Turn signal.
I think it's
good job.
How we should approach these subjects, right? If a black listener said, hey, this is how I self-identify, and I think it's harmful when you say otherwise, it's a good thing that we shut up and listen. But as a
big boy truck.
Or a person who's born Jewish or a secular Jew, whatever.
So much for coming. Of course. Very sorry to hear about your mother. Yes. The doctor tried everything she could. Sorry, the doctor? Oh, yes, Dr. Linda. Have you met her? No, I don't think I have.
Holy fucking shit, do not fucking go in there. Woof, woo, woo. Let me tell you, that fucking Mercury ran through me like the finish line of the 2013 Boston Marathon.
What are they doing?
Soon. You must be Dr. Linda.
It's this year, only halfway through. Then during the past 2 years where the Republicans were in charge combined, in other words, one half of the year in 2021, the Democrats got in charge. We've had more members than all of 2019 and 2020. So any talk that we are not working the Senate whenever we can in a fair body.
Straight. 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 Ah, they figured it out. Not like there's parking here, right around the corner. So hard to find.
Health insurance. And you don't live in the States, you will fucking weep like a child. And then if you ask what their employer pays,
oh my god, a traffic stop.
And it's like you would fucking weep until you.
I've been living in Seattle for 4 years. This is the third one I've ever seen.
No, you still have to pay your fucking deductible, and then you still have to pay a co-insurance rate. Yeah. Getting sick.
They filed to appeal the release of the second half of the Bill Barr memo from March 2019. They didn't explain it to you like you were an adult. They didn't say, hey, look, this deliberative process privilege, here's why it's important, here's why, we need to defend it, regardless of this or that, or who's and that's why we're doing this. But instead they put forth this weak sauce legal argument.
I totally, right? Like,
now, if that wasn't weird enough, check this out. As it turns out, Bannon and Mercer also ran in the same circles with longtime Democratic pollster Pat Heddell, whom the Washington Post described as the player who first wrote the instructions manual for a Trump presidency. For years, Cadell conducted extensive public opinion research showing Americans were sick of the two-party system and ripe for an outsider candidate to take the White House. He called this the Candidate Smith Project, in reference to the 1939 Stewart movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. In 2013, Cadell showed his polling data to Mercer and Bannon at a conservative conference in Palm Beach, who then shared them with Roger Stone, who then shared them with Trump.
All right, so we've got our own axis of evil. Now let's fast forward to 2016, and AG, you're gonna love this because Roger Stone
Sorry, I was looking at another comment. Someone said if modest is hottest, then logically being immodest would make you not hot, which would actually make men lust after you less.
That was
so dress like a slut.
That was what I was trying to get at. That was much better put than what I said of like no matter, even if it's like slutty is hottest or modest is hottest, either way you're saying like
everyone gets a ticket
for other people. So it doesn't matter how you want to look, it matters how people want you to look.
Sure, go ahead.
And this time, it's by a House committee investigating his business dealings. NBC's Pete Williams reports the House Oversight and Reform Committee kept a subpoena to get documents from Mazars, the accounting firm, to examine
the at Liberty University to pick me up at the close of debate court. I compelled the chief of police to promise me, in her presence, that I would be called on my mother's landline telephone, which Liberty had in their possession, and which has never changed since that time.
You gonna let me park?
Ever attacked anyone else, so that I would be available for corroboration and also for emotional support for the movement. I believe that we, as citizens of the world, must find legal.
You, absolutely.
No, so I always assumed that this was like the Baylor thing. Like he's such a disgrace that 1/4 of his first name sued to not be associated with him or something.
Wrong way.
It was like that.
And next up in headlines. Me to the bike, there was a BMW. He was there for the whole process of purchasing it.
Oh,
and when he
wrong way, biker, get off the sidewalk.
Bike with me. Oh my God, that was a greater opportunity than my visitations to heaven. End of quote.
Jesus told me to buy this motorcycle. That is my favorite example of committing
oh my
to
God,
the
another one.
Your spouse since the virgin birth.
Okay.
Wrong way, get off the sidewalk.
The whole time. Do you think he like shopped? Like he's walking around and he's like, oh yeah, Yamaha. No, God wants a Harley. Financing option. Checks his financing. And he kind of needs a buddy to go with him to the store for confidence.
Clearly he needs a co-signer.
But
oh my God.
It's just a giant lie because Johnson has to tell a new story.
No,
he goes
that's
on
not okay.
Go fuck yourself. There's a painting. Some random... I'll use that for my dumb interview next week. Okay. Podcast listener.
And
he just
another
included
one.
a picture of this. Let's go ahead and call it a painting in our notes. And if the artist
wrong way, dude,
wasn't going beer the entire time he painted it, I will eat my own balls. A frivolous Christian lawsuit. Well, get cozy, you lucky ducks, because this week an Orthodox Christian woman in Russia is suing McDonald's for being so tempting and delicious that she broke her fast for Lent.
Oh, Jesus.
And now she's gonna burn in hell forever.
No.
Okay, just get fries and a chocolate shake. You're good. That's basic strategy. You don't have to get meat there.
Right, because after a McDonald's milkshake, you're going to be shitting until Lent ends, and you can't break your fast
I was
food
letting you in.
McDonald's bathroom. Exactly.